Hello, everyone. Glad that we have a chance to talk, and I am extremely excited to have these conversations. Thank you, everyone, for your patience, for waiting for us. Really appreciate. This is actually something that we do for the first time. Such an enormous difference in time zones, continents, and I hope you enjoy because this is OnlyMonster going live with interesting individuals from the industry. And today we have really special guest from Australia, the founder of Onlydreams agency, who has years of experience, has a lot of interesting things to tell us. So I'm very glad to announce that Todd is today with us. And Todd, hi. Very glad to see you here. This time, I'm glad that we finally have a chance to talk. Hi, man.
Hi, how you doing? Finally, we're
Very
here.
nice. Yeah, indeed. Cool. This is actually something extraordinary, and I'm quite excited. Todd is currently in Australia. I'm here in Europe, so we are quite far away from each other. Still, guys, this is a one of a kind live stream, and I really hope that you have some questions to ask our special guest here today. So, Todd, how are you doing, man? All good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's
Very nice.
late at night here, but I'm wide awake.
Okay, perfect, perfect. I know it's quite late time at where you are right now, but for those who see you for the first time, anyone who is here uh, seeing you and like wondering this agency, what is it? Only Dreams. Could you tell us in like 1 minute what's Only Dreams agency and what do you personally do like day to day?
I think so. Like many agencies, we're just a pretty standard sort of OnlyFans management agency, full management. So we do a lot of obviously social media and the OnlyFans page side of it. So the full spectrum, not just one part. We do a lot of in-person work with our models when we can, so we find it works a lot better. Um, been doing this agency now for about 3 years. In the industry altogether for about 5 years. So
Okay.
uh, day to day, I'd say solving problems is what I'm doing most days, mostly.
Right, right. This is the most important thing to do. I mean, whenever you have a person who is problem solver, any business, any operations, any part, I believe you know every single aspect of it. Tell us a little bit about your story. How did you build this all ground up? You started 5 years ago. The agency exists for 3 years. Curious, what did you begin with? How was it?
Yeah, I started with another. Originally, I started by myself for a little while, and I had another partner. Then, when that partner split, and I started with my current partner in the current business. So, just evolved through a few sort of stages there. Um, I started obviously, but during COVID, I didn't have a lot to do. We were quite lucky in where I live. We're only like quarantined indoors for like 6 weeks, and then life was back to normal for us. It was very one of the strange places in the world where life really was unaffected by COVID. We didn't even have COVID till like 2023 where I live. So um, it was just that time we had not much to do. So I heard about OnlyFans. I'm like, oh, what's this thing? I was already in the um, outsourcing space for staff. So I already had a business where I was supplying staff from overseas to other businesses here. So I was like, it kind of led itself naturally to exploring into OnlyFans. So I heard about it. I actually assigned some of my VAs to go off and explore, do some research, find out what it was, find out how it works, so forth. They came back with a whole report, which is basically still true to this day on exactly how marketing is done and everything changes slightly, but it's all just iterations on the same stuff, right? So
Okay.
did some research, and then I had a friend of one of my overseas staff, where she was like, "Okay, I want to try it out." So just
Nice,
take
nice.
take your first step into it.
Speaking of hiring a team and working with people doing the research, we started with the fact that you're in Australia. Does it actually change the workflow? I mean, does it help more than it hurts? How do you change it into an
It
advantage here?
it helps a lot because a
Okay.
majority of the staff overseas are generally in the Philippines. And then there's obviously some in different European countries and so forth. But I think nearly everyone's used or has used Filipino stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm in the same time zone as the Philippines. So where I live is exactly the same time zone. So it makes it easier. So
Nice.
for a lot of staff working for an American agency, it means they have to work the graveyard shift to work in the same office hours as someone in America, for example.
Hmm.
Um, when I employ those staff, they work in the same time zone. They can work in daytime, regular sort of office hours.
Hmm. Hmm. Cool.
So it works to my advantage.
It makes sense indeed that you like in the same time zone. It's pretty easy to manage, I believe. Nice, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad that this is actually a solution, such a simple thing, even easier than for everyone else. And well, speaking of like generally running an agency, that's a difficult thing, and 2026 feels even more competitive, I would say. What do you think? What changed?
Far more
Indeed, right?
competitive.
What
Yeah.
changed the most in the agency market compared to last year, let's say?
Compared to last year,
Yeah.
it's AI. AI is coming. It's here. It's a huge help to managing your business, to it really expand your capacity and all sorts of things. And if you're not really paying attention or you're not really learning, you're falling behind. But also AI creators, AI models, they're flooding the marketplace at the moment. So there's a lot
Indeed.
of, which means our traditional platforms where Instagram, TikTok, so forth, you're now getting a huge volume of just copy like AI
Hmm.
models. And I'm not against it. I've got a couple of AI models as well. We do a bit of
Cool.
hybrid
Okay.
nowadays. So I think there is there's a huge space in working with the hybrid sort of model
Hmm.
business, the hybrid. I don't know if you know what I mean by AI generated social media, but an
Yeah.
actual real model on OnlyFans. So that's the hybrid.
And I assume
Um,
that on OnlyFans it's kind of more difficult to do any kind of AI, but on social media you can do AI.
well, you can't do AI content on OnlyFans,
Yeah.
so they don't allow it, which is good. So it is a real model, but with the hybrid one, you're generally working with a model who doesn't really want to be as open about it for whatever her reasons might be. Doesn't want to show her face, doesn't want to be like as public and be all over social media. Um, so the AI model looks like the real model, but not exactly. So when friends and family or someone see the AI model, they're not going to be like, oh, that's that person that I know, because it looks similar. Because you can't really make an AI model look exactly like, even if it looks so similar, the human mind knows somehow that
Yeah.
that's not the same person. Look at it and go, oh, that's not that person I know. So it doesn't trigger them. So there's a whole market there of women that want to get into it, but they don't want to be public. So
Yeah.
it's where that hybrid thing comes in really nice. Works well for them, works well for us.
Would you say that
Um,
this is kind of like makes it more beneficial or like making everything more difficult? It's right. AI creators, one thing.
both,
AI
both,
tools, another thing, right?
both. I would say
Uh,
both. I would say AI tools really, really helpful,
uh,
but it's draining a lot of my time working on AI tools when I should be creating content. Like in the past,
yeah.
I would go with the model and we would go to the beach. Like this morning, I was at 7 a.m. I was at the beach. We
Hmm.
were shooting videos, we were shooting stuff. We could shoot 50, 100 videos at the beach and so many photos in a short amount of time. If you've got the model there and she's willing to go and do that. But then creating AI content takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, but then
Yeah.
it can be really fast. But then with the AI tools, well, yes, they do expand my capabilities a lot. Um, it takes a lot of my time messing around with the AI tools, and you kind of get sidetracked, and you're building some. I've been building some a tool for my staff to track their time and various tools, and you get sidetracked from the main business objective. So you've got to be really careful with AI tools not to get
Hmm.
too much of your time sucked into building these tools, why they're cool and
Hmm.
why they're fun, and they think, oh, they're really helping your business, but sometimes they're taking your time away from the core business, and you're just making these side quests. I've got a few friends. I've got a few friends doing the same thing, and I'm saying we should have started an agency to call it side quests. So all we're doing is like
both of
things
yeah.
that are not the right thing, not the main job.
And before I go to questions related to the core things, we actually have a question from the chat right now related to AI
Sure.
tools. Let me read it. Can you share top three operations that could be automated with AI agents in this business?
Yeah, assessing your data. It's just something that you feed your data into, and it makes assessments. It's really good at doing that. It's really good at taking the numbers and going and picking out your patterns in there and what's sort of working. So assessing data on content,
Hmm.
coming up with new content ideas
Hmm.
is good. But then even simple things is like managing your staff, giving your staff instructions and that kind of stuff. Just like I've made a tool instead of like sending the messages like, oh, there's a lot of programs out there to help manage staff, but they are very expensive, I'll be honest.
Hmm.
And you can quite simply make a tool that you just helps the staff. Like I've made one that links to my Telegram, and instead of sending a message to my staff and telling them to do this thing, I'll send a message to the task. That's the bot that I've created in Telegram. It will create a task, give it to the staff. They'll then tell the bot, okay, I'm starting that now. It'll start the timer. Then when they finish the task, they'll tell the bot, oh, I finished the task, and they'll stop their timer, and that's their timesheet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the same automation, same bot will give them more information about the job. And this took me one day to make, or a few hours to
Wow.
make. Like it's a simple thing to make, a simple little automation that just helps you keep your staff more on track of what they're doing.
Wow.
And there's a whole bunch of other automations that I've made that literally one the other day. I was making a whole bunch of content, right? And it's all AI videos.
Hmm.
And I don't really like them when they're named like they come out of Kling, for example, and they say they came from Kling on the video, the actual file name.
Yeah.
It took 15 minutes to make a automation that takes the whole file and renames all the videos in the same format that iPhone uses. So it looks like they came from an iPhone. I mean,
Wow.
it might not be worthwhile, but it literally took 15 minutes to make, and it takes me like a second to change 30 videos to like image 1, image 2, image 3, and
Wow, that
it's
is
just
cool.
it's just little stuff you can do that takes minutes to make.
But I mean,
You've got
it's
to be
all
careful.
little details that all together make a huge difference. You also
Yeah,
mentioned the fact that you do some kind of like extracting your data in an automated way. This is actually a huge thing. We since recently do that through API here in OnlyMonster, but it's actually great that you do all those different automations and you build like all that with AI. Wow. I hope you guys are making notes. This sounds like a golden thing. I know there are many agency owners here today with us. So, yeah, I just wanted to remind you that you are also very welcome to hit this button comment section and drop all your comments, questions. Feel free to. You're very welcome to. And in the meantime, I would really like to go back a little bit to the core processes because these side quests are always nice and the details always matter. But what about the creators?
One thing a friends always tell me is his very good advice was beware of the shiny things,
Yeah,
because you end up chasing all the shiny things and you forget that core important thing.
absolutely, man. I agree. Speaking of important things, the creators,
Go for
those
it.
that are still
Yes.
humans, those that we still work with,
Yes.
what's your best, let's put it this way, where do they come from usually? The referrals, the inbound, the scouting, something else probably?
Early days, it was a lot of scouting through Instagram,
Uh-huh.
and I've never done a lot. Or I guess I have, but I've never done a lot of cold messaging. I'm just messaging girls out of the blue, like, "Hey, I've noticed something about your Instagram. Let me help you." Like I find that the worst way to go. Um, a lot of now it's all referrals, friend of a friend,
Ah,
that kind of stuff. It gets easier when you get further along.
yeah,
So the referrals for mostly for me is where I find most of mine with Western. That's where your best leads are going to come from,
hmm.
because you've done, which means do good work for the people you work with, and more people will come because they'll refer their friends, or they'll refer people they've
Yeah,
talked to, and people will hear about you, and you'll get better leads, you'll get better clients because they come in wanting to work with you. But
absolutely.
in the early days, it was just a lot of talking to models through social media.
Hmm.
And I'm always been very, very good at getting more clients and signing a lot of clients, probably too many a lot of the time. But it's always been, I've always found is don't go out of your way to try and sign a client. Go out of your way to give value to people you talk
Exactly.
to, and that will get you clients. So if you talk to someone and you can give them some advice without being condescending, or that, just give them some value, give them some advice, give them a shout out. If you've got a big Instagram and they're trying to get up, just give them a shout out.
Yeah.
There's no harm in sharing someone's post a couple of times and giving them a little boost, give them a couple of little tips. And all of my best clients have come from that sort of process where I've given them a little bit of help, just free help. Here's some advice. Here's a share. Oh, give them some just little tips and advice, and just through conversation, not always tips, like just conversationally. And then when they ask about something, share that information. There's no need to gatekeep it, because it's just information at the end. And then those clients have always ended up being my best clients, because we'll talk for a month or 2 or 3 months, and they'll listen to my advice and they'll use some of it. All of a sudden their earnings are going up and up. They're like, oh, this is actually working. He must know what he's talking about. Therefore, I want to work with him. That's it. So, and that's been the pathway to my best clients every time.
Friends bringing friends. As long as you're good at what you do, as long as you bring value to creators, they will not have a reason to leave, neither to, they will just keep inviting other people in. This is what
I mean, they will leave. Yeah, they will leave. It's just the nature of the business. And like, you got to imagine, like, if you had a regular job and you worked there, you would eventually, even if you loved the job, eventually you would look for other jobs, because maybe humans are like that. The grass is always greener, right? So even the best models I've had, even the highest earning ones, one we've taken from 0 to 100,000.
Wow.
After a couple of years, they do leave because they think, oh, well, maybe it can be better somewhere else. It's generally not, but that's just human nature. So you can't expect to keep them forever, but you just do your best, and they're generally around for a long time.
And you should be prepared for that, for sure. And let me ask you, like, what's your criteria, like yes, no checklist, when you decide if you work with a creator or you don't work with a creator?
Yeah, so I would say early days in the past, I've been to yes all the time. Right. Now I'm much more circumspect. I really only want to work with people that I get along on a personal level. So we have some conversation for a while. We have a rapport. We're on the same level. We want the same things. We're looking for we have the same goals. I'm not trying to adapt how I work to suit them. They're not trying to adapt how they work to suit me. We kind of, I like to have a conversation with them for quite a few months, give them some advice and what I think would work for them, and see how they take it. Do they take it on board? Does it work for them? Is it what the advice that I give first? Does it work for them? Do they like it? And then if it goes that way, where they're listening, they're trying it out, and maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. They come back and they say, oh well, I tried that out and it didn't really work. Cool, maybe try this out, and they listen. And it's not like, oh, that didn't work, therefore your advice is not good, because everything doesn't work for everybody, right? It could be like, this might be a good idea for you, and they give it a go, and maybe it's not, because social media is a fickle thing. I mean, some things just for some reason just work, and you don't know why sometimes. But it's just, I just like to see how the relationship going, because the most important thing is communication. And if you can't communicate very well with them through the good times and the bad times, you're not going to go anywhere. So you're just going to run into brick walls all the time and disagreements, and that's just a horrible way to work, because it's very stressful. And I've done that a lot, where you've got creators and they're really good, they've got a value, you can make money there, but it's just stressful when you're just butting heads all the time, and which is not fun for anyone. So I try to communicate. I want to work with people I can communicate well with, and we can get along. That's where I'm looking for mostly.
That is a very important skill. I mean, soft skills, even if a professional is very good, but still you cannot communicate, I totally agree. It's like very hard to work with them. And makes sense to me. Absolutely. Looks like it is totally applicable an agency building business. Very cool. I mean, that is one aspect, right? Building an agency, hiring your team, and then having creators to work with. But once it's all kind of up and running, would you say that the let me ask you this way: how would you rank what moves revenue most, right? So we're talking content quality, posting consistency, or promo traffic, or chatting, or like how would you put ranking in these things?
Consistency.
Ah,
Consistency above all.
okay.
Consistency, then quality. Um, and yeah, consistency first
Mhm.
before quality. A lot of
Interesting.
people, a lot of models will put quality ahead of consistency, which is great. You want your models to be trying to be produce quality content, but if they put quality in front of consistency, consistency falls off, and that's how you end up. Oh, I only post once this day, and
Hmm.
I missed a day. We didn't do any post because the video. I couldn't quite have a good idea. I couldn't get the video right. I tried to make it wasn't really good, so we I was trying to do it. So then this week we didn't get that, and like you're sort of missing all your numbers. And it's a numbers game. It's a volume game more than anything. It's
Hmm.
not as sexy as it seems. It's a numbers game.
Hmm.
The more you post, the more money you make. It's just really as simple as that. So
Wow.
you're obviously there's a difference between going super viral and not, but like you can just make good money just by being consistent, even if the content's not the best,
Wow.
but you put it out. So I always say to models, I would rather see um, I want the what's the saying? I like the saying.
Hmm.
Um, it's better done than not. Or something. I can't remember the
Oh yeah,
saying.
yeah,
But there's a saying where it's like it's better the job to be done than not than be perfect.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That I think like that. It's better to be done than to be perfect, right?
Absolutely.
So like it's better that we've got to post some stuff today. Well, this is what we've got. We'll post that instead of like, oh no, we can't post it. It's not perfect. Because if you keep trying to make it perfect, you miss days of posting and you're not hitting
Yeah.
those things. So consistently posting, consistency putting out content, consistency putting numbers on the board, the most important thing.
Hmm.
Once you're consistent, then work on your quality. So now, like, okay, we can work on we're getting the content made, we're getting it put out, we're getting it posted, we've got everyone doing their jobs, and now we work on okay, let's do better captions, let's do better video quality, let's do better. Then you're sort of working on your quality across the board, but you've got to have your consistency there. They
Nice,
they
nice.
do, yeah. That's enough of that.
Sorry, I just wanted to mention that there are not just agency owners and operational managers watching us today, but also some creators. But look, what an important aspect. One of the key factors is to be consistent. So, an agency owner with lots of experience mentions to like starting working with a creator. Consistency is key. I heard that from creators, and now also confirmed by an agency. This is very important indeed. I totally agree. And there actually is also a comment in our live chat, live stream chat, saying great ideas. So open-minded speaker. Appreciate stream so much. Thank you. Everyone who also has some
Thanks.
questions, feel free to drop them. We will go through them as well. And now let me ask you, as a businessman, uh, what are the top three KPIs that you watch weekly to know an account is healthy?
Mm, very, very good question. I'm not. I must admit, I work a little bit too instinctual.
Mm,
In I look at numbers, but I am like everybody looking at the views on our accounts. Like, what's our reach?
mhm,
Looking at the quality of the audience. I generally am more social media focused, so I'm looking at the the number of posts. Are we getting the consistency out? What numbers are we reaching with those social media accounts? Um, these are the important things that I'm looking for, and then I'm looking at what's the comments like? Are we getting actual real comments, or is it
mm,
all just emojis, which I find to be trash and worthless anyway? You want to see some actual words in your comments, then you know that your content might have a higher rate of chance of converting. Um,
mm.
this is where I'm really social media focused. The OnlyFans side of it itself is rather simplistic
Okay.
in that it's quite, once they're already there, they're already a person who wants to buy something. It's just a matter of treating them well, having generally, your staff are generally having good conversations. They're not doing anything stupid. They're not trying to just sell too hard. They're having, it's it's not super complicated on that side. I don't pay much attention to what's my spend per fan and what's my this sort of. I probably, maybe I should. I don't know. I tend not to pay that. I figure that the spend, how much fans are spending each and how much they're doing, whatever, it's really dependent on the quality of the traffic coming in from your social media. And I think 80% of your money is made on social media. Yes, the money is made physically in OnlyFans, but you're making it on social media because you're putting the personality out there, you're putting the model out there to attract people that like her for her. So when they come through to OnlyFans, they're going to spend very well anyway.
So one of the most important things is actual acquisition on social media, like the traffic acquisition. So the better you post, the more consistent you are, the better feedback, and taking all that feedback into account for building other content further on social media is one of the most important things. Wow, this is actually matching with what I thought, and I'm actually glad to hear that you emphasize the importance of it. Cool. Let me also ask you about kind of the other side. Once you actually acquired the traffic from social media, being focused on which is a great idea, I totally agree. Once fans are kind of there, how do you balance the subscription price versus a PPV strategy, and what's common mistakes, pricing mistakes that agencies make?
I think a common mistake, maybe not agencies, I think a lot of mistakes that probably models make is wanting to have a entry price too high, so their subscription might be $10 or $15 or something like that, right? I run into it quite often where I generally have a subscription $15, $20 a month, whatever, but the first month you're always setting a maximum discount, so the entry bar is as low as possible without being free.
Without being
a lot of agencies like the free entry, because the principle here is if you think of OnlyFans page as a physical shop, you want as many people in your shop as possible because then they can buy stuff. If they're standing outside your shop, they can't buy shit. Right. So you want them inside your shop. You want them subscribed. So a lot of people go with, we'll just do a free page. We'll get maximum number of people in there. For me, I don't like that model because a lot of those people aren't going to buy anything, and they basically means you've got to have a whole lot of sales staff going around talking to all those people, and most of them don't buy anything. So I like to have the minimum $3 a month entry price, so that my sales staff and the chatters at least know the person has an active credit card and are willing to use it.
Right.
So they just spent $3. This tells me they've got money in their pocket. They just, whether they say they do or don't, I know they do because their card worked. They paid that $3, right?
I was about to ask why not free, because I heard that lately agencies kind of switch from paid to free and make even more money. But what you're saying kind of makes sense to me. Yeah.
A lot of them are, and honestly, I still think the $3 minimum subscription is far more profitable because again your costs are much lower. A lot of the agencies that are running free pages, I don't know this for a fact, but I know generally a lot of them are outsourcing their chatting. So they'll run a free page, they'll outsource the chatting to a chat agency, and they'll just focus on running the actual social media and driving traffic into there, and they're just ramming traffic into the free page, and the chatting agency handles that because you're paying a chatting agency a percentage and it's fixed. The percentage is fixed, right? So it doesn't matter how many chat staff the agency has. If you're paying an agency a fixed percentage, you don't care what their costs are because they can have 100 chatters. It's not my problem. I'm paying you the same percentage no matter what. But they're paying the chat staff a hourly rate. So, but I do all my own chatting staff in house, so I'm paying all my staff an hourly rate. So if I have 100,000 free fans on a page, I need 6-10 chatters on the page. And of those 100,000 fans, 1,000 of them are going to spend any money. Maybe 2,000 or 3,000 are going to actually want to spend, but they're all going to want to chat and they're annoying.
Yeah.
So eliminating those for me by having that $3 spend, I've always found that I'll get, for every 1,000 free page, I'll get 100 in the pay. And now that's 10. It's only 10% of the fans, but I know they spend money, and it means that my staff that I'm paying an hourly rate, I need less of them. So the margin is bigger.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Wow.
So that's why I like that model. I don't want to have, but if you don't care about the baseline cost of the chat staff because you're paying a fixed percentage, go for a free page and just then push that problem down the line to someone else.
So that they deal with all this. I was about to ask about this, by the way, regarding the traffic acquisition, building strong socials. That's very important. You got fans. Now, retaining them is also another thing, right? So what's the most underestimated factor that destroys retention, in your opinion?
I think just good note taking, a good CRM like OnlyMonster makes a big fucking difference. Makes a big difference. Honestly, you want to have you want to have notes in there. You want to be able to. You want to make sure that you've just got good systems so that your staff can carry on the conversations and treat the fans like they're actually a human and like they're talking to the model, and you've just got to be really clever about that, like making sure you know their names, so you're recording their name, keeping good notes about it, keeping your chat teams really tight. And that's another thing for me, is because I have that subscription model where there's less fans, but they're all paying. I have a smaller chat team, so there's less mistakes when less inconsistency in conversation, because there's just the same sort of small core chat team that all works tightly together, right? And they have good note taking, and this is where AI really comes into its own here now, because, and this is something I might give away a little something, I don't know. I started using Claude. Claude has a thing called Claude has projects in it, right? So in projects, you can actually have it shared and you can pay whatever, but you can use it free. You can use the project, and you can collect all the information that you know about the model, everything, every question, every little fact, everything, all your notes, and you can have Claude put it into a nice big document about the model, and you can load that document into a project. All of your staff can have their own project, and they can have conversations with that project. So if they don't know something about the model, they'll be like, "Oh, what's her favorite color?" And it was like, "It's green." And then they got their answer straight away, so they can have a resource of information sitting there about the model without having to ask the model, without having to check, without having to. In the past, before AI was available, I had big documents that I had to go down the sheet and find. Oh, her cat's name is Felix. Oh, Felix is. They have to refer to the sheet all the time. I switched up to doing that with AI now, so I have just an AI. I take all the information, I put it in the brain, essentially, of their AI, their personal one. So the staff just have a little AI next to them. They ask him, what's her cat's name? Oh yeah, it's Felix. And it just keeps it smoother, keeps it faster, because they find the information faster. The AI answers the question very quickly, and then they use that information to carry on the conversation quickly and accurately, and there's no mistakes. And it's a really nice little way.
Man, I kind of heard about it somewhere, but I didn't even think that someone actually uses it this way. Guys, those of you who have agencies might also think about it, like having a project, like an AI assistant nearby that you can actually fetch with the questions directly related to what you're looking for. Wow, man, this is huge.
I think about that AI as a version of the model. It's the model, but it's an AI version of her. And whenever a question comes up that the AI can't answer because we don't know it yet, then we go to the model. We say, "Hey, what's this? How do we answer this?" And then we add that into the information, so it keeps building over time. So you're keeping those relationships going with your fans, and that's your retention. Of course, you want to give them something to make sure that they're staying around, but that just generally they're not there to get free shit, which they want conversation, they want relationship, they want attention mainly. So giving them the attention they want, maintaining the relationships they want to have, the conversations they want to have, they'll stay around longer.
Nice. That definitely makes sense to me. I also have like 3 more questions. And guys, in chat, if you still have a few questions that you're yet to write down, feel free to do so. Let me, before I ask you if like some people want to work with you, how do they do? Let me first ask you this. Speaking of safety, security, what's your approach to this safety compliance and creator boundaries where other agencies usually mess up?
You've got to be secure in how you treat their content. Like any business, you have disgruntled employees that leave, and you can't just trust everyone with the content. You have to actually take your model's personal security seriously. In that, you have to make sure that the staff who access the content are only staff who really needs to do it. And you have to review that quite regularly, which staff have access to the content that you don't want it to get out into the world. You're selling it, yes, but you want to be secure about it. And always use a good takedown service. Make sure that we're keeping leaks tight and kind of stuff. So, I think OnlyMonster is doing a great job with security in the sense that you have really granular control over what certain staff can do and can see and can. And I think that's a really powerful tool.
This definitely is an important aspect of working with other people to make sure that they are safe and secure. And I'm really glad to hear that you actually take that into account. I think there is a little echo in the background if you have the stream turned on somewhere else also, and it has sound. No? Maybe it's just some other. Anyway, I
hear in my ears. Everyone's quiet.
All right, I got you. Probably. Could it be the microphone getting the sound of my voice like twice? Anyway, it's okay. It's okay. No worries.
Yeah.
Cool. You take safety seriously, and this is very important. And yeah, if someone wants to work with you as a creator, as a chatter, or some people that you're looking for, maybe some traffic, or I don't know, how can they reach out to you? How can they get in touch with you? And whom are you looking for?
At the moment, I'm not looking for anybody. I'm keeping it nice and tight. I'm good right now. I like to keep it. I've got a few models. They're good. I'm keeping my life less stressed. But yeah, I mean, realistically, they could email me. But we keep a very low social profile. There's really, you couldn't, if you find us online, if you were searching for us, you would need to know someone who knew us, essentially. But yeah, they could email me. We do have a website, but I don't really pay attention to it. So.
Okay, all right. Well, nice. In any case, if at some point you want to leave some contact, we can always add it to the description of the video. Cool.
I'll leave you my website. Yeah, they can go there.
All right. Nice. Cool.
I'm also happy to always. I always believe in sharing knowledge.
Yeah.
I think knowledge should be shared. So if there is people that want to reach out and ask questions, and I'm always happy to share with them.
Yeah, and as long as I was just thinking that probably you
Telegram's my best contact. I live in Telegram.
Okay, excellent. That works perfectly well. Just in case, And of course, building an agency takes time. It's like knowledge that you kindly share. I'm pretty certain that people are making notes and kind of, wow, I wish I knew that earlier. And let me ask you, at this level where you currently are, this is actually a business, a strong business that also has its own bottlenecks, right? What's the hardest operational bottleneck for you right now? Is it a team, maybe a process, content pipeline, compliance, payments? What would you say?
Payments has been the last 12 months. I'm mostly on the OnlyMonster team now anyway. My payments the last 12 months has been a nightmare. We went from making a huge amount of money to making a lot less money because one of the models ran away with money. So these things happen. I was very lenient with letting payments fall behind and so forth, and that really cripples the business when you're too you're being nice and you're like, okay, yeah, you're allowing them to be behind on payments because you're trying to be nice. But what happens is you actually end up doing your clients a disservice because your business doesn't have the funds and the cash flow to do what you need to do for your clients because you're allowing the payments to fall behind. So I don't do that anymore. Payments are on time or we don't work anymore. You have to be a bit ruthless in that fact. You need cash flow to do things in this business. If you don't have the cash flow because someone else is holding the cash, you're stuffed. So we've learned a very hard lesson in the last 12 months with that. Where I was lax with a client and cost me to the tune of $150,000. So don't be lax. But the main bottleneck you're always going to have is content because you want to be consistent. And I think that is one of the best things that agencies provide to models is helping them be more consistent at a higher level. But you're always going to struggle to get enough content for the most part. So it's always the bottleneck. Even with the model that's like usually sits in that chair right there next to me, getting content from her, and she's right there. And be hard because she wants to go through it all and wants to, and she's only one person, so it takes a long time. So we go out, like today we spent 4 hours out shooting content, shooting video, shooting stuff. That content will take days to get through, but she has to go through it all around everything else she's doing. And it's basically we shoot a massive amount of content, it gets bottlenecked through her and then comes out to all the staff. So it's like it's nearly always the choke point I find is content. And you want to try and remove as much friction in that process as possible.
Speaking of what she's doing, I do have one last question. Could you tell me, probably you definitely have answer to this question, one thing that creators should stop doing immediately and one thing that they should start doing this week?
They should stop wanting to be perfect and having full control.
Okay.
You have to accept that when you get someone else to do work for you, it's only ever going to be 75, 80% as good as you do it. And that's just how it is. And you can do everything yourself and do everything perfectly yourself, sure, but you're only ever going to be one person. You're only ever going to have 24 hours in a day, no matter how you wish there was more time in the day. You're only going to be one person. If you want to reach higher levels and make more money and expand your business as a model, you have to hire people. Whether you hire an agency or you hire your own staff, you have to hire people. It's much easier to hire an agency because they've got all the structure, everything built in. You're going from here to there without having to get all the stuff along the way. But you have to accept that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exactly how you want it. And you have to let go of that a little bit in order to get much higher up. And that's one of the things they need to stop doing. A lot of models when they first come into working, when they first you might say that you might make a certain amount of money when you want to work with other people. You've got to let go a little bit. And it's the same for me. I mean, I hire staff and I can do really good posts. I can do stuff. When I hire staff, I know I can't post for 10 models, right? So I need to hire people to do that. I have to understand they're going to make mistakes. It's not going to be perfect.
Indeed, not being perfectionist, learning how to delegate, and after all, scaling because you are here to make money.
Exactly. You can aim for perfection, but don't get so hung up on it that you're letting other things get in your way. Like, don't put it as a roadblock. Just be something you aim for, but don't make it a hurdle to your success.
Nice. That's a very nice word. I wanted to finish with some advice that you would give to starting agencies, those creators who just start. I feel like you kind of just did, right? You gave a lot of useful advice here, and all these things that I personally never thought about. I think these agencies who are watching us today will find that useful. Todd, this has been an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed it. This is insightful. Thank you so much that it's such a late hour. You find the time to share knowledge just like you always do. You said it yourself. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. Absolutely.
Cool. Guys, well, those who are watching us today, really glad that you had your time spent this way. I Hope you enjoyed. This is OnlyMonster sharing knowledge with interesting individuals from inside the industry. And I am very glad that I have a chance to do such things with such amazing people. You know, thank you. Hope to see you again. And hit that like button, subscribe, just not to miss all the ongoing streams, podcasts that we do sometimes in conferences, sometimes online. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.